All right, we are on our way to the gym right now. Day passing it up here in Paris, but you're not in Europe unless you're drinking a Red Bull. So we're gonna drink this. We're gonna take some pre-workout and then we're gonna hit this workout. Let's go.
Hello?
Shoot. What's up from Paris? So it has been fun lifting in Europe the last month, getting to check out different gyms. The gyms here are crazy. I mean, some of them are pretty cool, but it's just crazy. They're usually in like these old buildings. In fact, one of the gyms we lifted in was actually in an old bank. So literally like the locker rooms were behind a vault door that was just wide open. It was crazy, but very unique. And we've just been trying our best to get in good lifting sessions no matter what. I think the training intensity has been there. It's been hard in the sense where I'm just not in my usual routine of things, but Maddie and I have done our best to just make it happen anyway, whether we're in the mood or not. We've been trying to get to the gym as much as possible, training hard. The one thing that I think I've struggled with the most is regarding diet, just getting enough protein in, which it's been nearly impossible. I mean, I'll just go ahead and say it's been very, very difficult to get my protein in. I've been trying to, when we go out to eat, to prioritize high protein meals, but that is definitely easier said than done in a place like this. But I think, it's a learning experience. I'll find ways to be better about that in the future. Maybe I gotta, stuff a tub of protein in my luggage. But it is what it is. We've been doing our best. And also the other thing, it's kind of more of a mental game, but some days I've been just barely eating at all. In fact, like a lot of days I've been barely eating at all. So I'll have some days where I feel flatter, smaller. And I just got to remember that in the long run, it's going to be okay. As long as I'm getting that training volume in, which I'm working hard to do, as long as I'm training hard with intensity, I will be okay. I think the size will come back a little bit, that fullness, as soon as I get some good American meals back in my system. But it has been a fun time and we have been training hard. And I think generally speaking, I look decent for being gone for a month. Just been having an attitude of no excuses. So it's been working. All right, solid workout. Definitely, I said this in the last video, but definitely grateful that I brought my Ubora grips because I can't imagine training back. At this point, I can't imagine training back for a month without my Ubora grips. In fact, I tried one workout when we were in Manchester without them, and it sucked. Like, I'm ruined for life, you could call it. You have to have Ubora grips when you're training back. Otherwise, your back sessions will suck and you'll never want to train back ever again. Okay, but now the rest of the video, you guys, we're doing a Q&A with Madeline. We asked both of our Instagrams for questions, and we are going to answer those questions. So let's get down to it. While we go around Paris.
Oui.
Oui, oui. Bonjour. Oui, oui.
That's it.
That's all I got. Okay, little food warning for you guys. These French bakeries, guys, man, they are insane. I'm going to keep in mind that we have balance and all things, so I'm going to enjoy this, but I've also only had like 1.5 meals today, so it is what it is. But I'm not going to show you in there because I have guys on prep that might watch this video and I don't want them to have to suffer. I am going to show you what we just picked up at this bakery though. Dangerous. Honestly, I don't know what we got, but you just pick out what looks good and then it tastes good usually, so that's that. All right, you guys, it is time for that Q&A. So I did a little question box on my Instagram for people to ask us questions to answer in this video, and we're gonna answer your guys' questions now. So, okay, yeah, this one's a good one because we're literally in Paris right now. By the way, if you hear noises, that's Parisian construction going on right outside of our window. But anyway, best place to start planning for a trip to Europe, travel agent, self-doing, etc.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Looking on YouTube, you got to figure out what you actually want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many tips and things that you didn't even think about knowing or understanding by watching YouTube videos. I think it's way better than a travel agent. A travel agent will book you on certain things, but they're not going to go through so much fine detail, and it's not going to be so personalized to like what you want it to be.
They don't know you as well as you know you. Keep that in mind, guys. There's this brand new couple YouTube channel you should go follow called the Oak Fam, which is our...
Feel free to DM us at any point.
Oh, yeah, totally.
On the Oak Fam, which is the travel Instagram, and we'd be happy to answer any questions about the exact details and process. We're open books about it.
Yeah, so keep in mind though, like I'm super into this stuff since forever. So like I've been watching travel YouTube for years.
Brady's so into travel.
And so, like, yeah, that's just how it is. But I would say, as far as Europe, because this is specific to Europe, and not to drag this question on much longer, but like, Paris is honestly probably the best spot to come to Europe. Not because it's like the best spot in Europe, although it could be, but because typically the flights to Paris from the US, several different places in the US, are cheaper. My first time I went to Paris back in, I don't know, like 5 years ago, I flew from Denver for $390 round trip. It was a great ticket. It was like Denver, Chicago, Paris. Great ticket, $390. I will say that is super like not common. So I think if you find anything less than $800, it's a deal, especially like $700. That's a super good deal to come to Paris. Once you're in Paris, you can connect to anywhere else in Europe for very cheap.
Yeah, like $40.
Literally like $40. My first time here, I went Paris to Manchester, England. It was like $40, and then from Manchester I actually went to Germany for another like $40. It was insane. So once you're in Europe, you're good to go. Paris is a great first destination though. Is it best to get lean, then reverse diet, or bulk, then get lean for an intermediate?
I think it's a great idea at any point to experience a cut, maybe even before you go full on into bulking and getting too far away from a baseline, if that makes sense. So do a cut first and then decide after if you're going to reverse or bulk.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's one right answer here. I would say I'm trying to make it where there is a right answer. If you're already higher body fat percentage, do a cut first, because you don't have much room there. Like if you're gaining weight and you're already pretty high body fat percentage, by that I would say like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20% plus, you just don't have as much room. I mean, 16% isn't that fat, but like if you put on 2% more, then you're at 18, and now you're kind of pushing it. So it kind of depends. Also, you could recomp for a while. You know, you could just be at maintenance and implement some like advanced programming, and you'll still grow and recomp a little bit. So it just kind of depends. But yeah, I think
the answer is do a cut right now, no matter where you're at. Do a cut, a really solid committed cut. After that, decide immediately if you're reversing or if you're going into kind of more of a maintenance. So low-key, just work with Brady and he'll help you figure it out.
Okay, has business or the process ever put a damper on your guys' relationship? If so, how did you overcome those challenges?
So I think we could both say that no, it's never put a damper on a relationship. If anything, it has definitely enhanced our relationship, given us a lot of things to do together, to work on together, to progress in together. That it's been very important, and Brady would agree, we just had a whole discussion about this the other day, that it's really helpful that we have separate businesses and different companies. That way we never have to clash on ideas and have to get upset with each other.
We don't have to be like, okay, let's have a conversation where we're not married and we're just business partners now. Like, we don't have to do that, which is very nice.
Partners.
But I'd also add that, like, no matter what, stress will affect relationships, but you get to determine where that stress comes from. So in our situation, like, we would choose the stress of being business owners versus the stress of us going to work for
separately
8 hours a day and not seeing each other, and then bringing our stress home with us after work, and like just like being in that flow of like hanging out for like max 2 hours a day before we're tired and fall asleep. Like, we would rather do it the way that we do it, no matter what. So what is one lesson you learned in your relationship that you wish you knew sooner? I'll go ahead and say, I don't know, this is like something I wish I knew sooner, but I think I learned it at the perfect time. Soulmates aren't found, they're built. So yeah, I think that's really hard when you're like, I was definitely pursuing relationships in college. I wasn't the type to just like date a million people. In fact, I don't like dating a million different people because of the superficial conversations and first dates and all that stupid stuff. I don't care about that. I'm ready to get to like the good stuff, like the, you know, firm relationships and all that good stuff. But I think like one struggle in the beginning that people like me face is waiting for that first date or that second date where you just know that they're the one, and the fireworks blast off in the sky, and you just like have that feeling. But with Maddie, who I do consider like my soulmate, like truly, I don't think there's anyone better for me in the universe. But that was built over time. And I guess, like, not to drag this on too long, because like I'm not a relationship channel or anything, but it was just like we went on a date and it felt good, and I wanted to see her for another date, and then that date came and it felt good, and I wanted to see her again. And through that process of just those like little breadcrumbs from date to date, month to month, over time we built that soulmate status. How's the pro card process going? How is it going? Do you have pro cards yet?
Oh, well, it's going. I know it might not look like it's going because they're not in our freaking hand.
Yeah.
It's going, though.
I'll say, I kind of mentioned this on my story the other day, but it's like, you know, like, no shade at anyone I coach, because I love everyone I get to coach, but I'll get...
Where are you going with this?
Huh?
Where are you going with this?
No, like, I'll get super excited guys that are, like, super excited, and they prep, and everything's great, and then after the show, I'm like, all right, let's get going, we got this off season, and they're like, I'm good. Like, I'm just gonna kind of do my own thing. I'm just like...
I have a lot of girls like that as well.
It's devastating because, like, you hear them talk about how they want to succeed, they want to go far, and it's like, okay, well, now we have that opportunity. The off season is the opportunity, but the off season is boring. You know, people think it's boring,
or like, they think I can do this on my own. I can stay focused on my own.
Yeah. Either way, it's like. I don't know, you really show your dedication when you stick to a plan. You have a coach, you're working towards, you know, a goal in mind, and it's like, I don't know, it's unfortunate, but I do have, on the other end of the spectrum, I have guys that are in the off season and are battling through that monotony that the off season might seem like it, but it's like, no, that's when the work's done, guys.
Pro cards happen in the off season, not on prep.
And right now we're in that, so all we can say is like, the work is being done. And a year from now, the work is still going to be getting done.
I mean, we were getting it done when we were in San Francisco after our last shows last year. We were working out hard. We had the vision in mind, and it has not stopped since. Yeah. I'm probably going to compete a little bit sooner than Brady. So if you would like to follow my journey, Brady is my coach as well. So if you're a girl watching this, he's a great coach. And I will get my pro card, and he will get his pro card.
Okay, where is it? You can summon one fictional character to train with. Who?
I know who yours would be.
Mine would be Zenitsu from Demon Slayer, or maybe Zuko from Avatar: Last Airbender.
What would mine be?
Yours would be
Rengoku!
Rengoku from Demon Slayer. Would you want to lift with him, or would you want to go on a date with him is the question.
I'd want to be inspired by him. I'd want to train with him.
These ones are more about the trip a little bit, but worst part of the trip so far?
Oh, that freaking Amsterdam hotel with the rat.
That was pretty bad, yeah.
We talk about that in detail at the end of our Amsterdam vlog, so go watch that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go watch that, but that was pretty bad. I would say, not like one situation, but just in general, like the service at restaurants in Europe is not the same as service in America. Long story short, like in America, like your cup will never go past half full, half empty. They're always filling it up. They're always checking in on you. Like when you finish your food, they're like, all right, I'll get the check for you. You're out.
Yeah.
Here in Europe, you can finish your food and just stare at them for like 45 minutes, just waiting for someone to bring the check so you can pay, so you can leave.
This is not the same at all.
The tip culture is different. So like they don't really have an incentive to watch out for you. So I kind of understand it, but it's like, it's just different. Okay, how much did the trip cost? So I actually think this is something we're going to cover on our other YouTube channel as well, the Oak Fam, talking about the cost of the whole trip and everything. But leave a comment below what you think it cost. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Okay, next one. If you had to live in only one of the places you visited, which would it be?
Oh, I'm between Paris and Amsterdam.
Yeah, same.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, I already lived in the UK, so I got that out of my system. I lived there for 2 years, and so I wouldn't care to move there again. But Amsterdam, it's really cool because it is like a big city, but it feels like a small city. Everyone speaks English, so for that reason, it'd be very easy to just like actually live there. Like the lifestyle with the biking, very active. You can walk everywhere. Lots to see, lots to do, lots of different restaurants, everything like that. For Paris, it's also just an extremely livable place. You can get by with English. At least most people speak English. Some people don't, but whatever.
I think the food scene is better here, and
much better
maybe
food
gyms
scene.
Are a little bit better.
Yeah, I'd say lots of gyms. It's just very livable. Like it has everything you need here, and you're very connected to the rest of Europe.
And I feel like there's lots to do in Paris. I think I would enjoy Paris a little bit more. Sights.
Yeah.
Like nightlife, restaurant scenes, everything. There's a lot to do.
It has everything. So, okay, last question, kind of regarding us, but like, what does training with your partner look like compared to others?
We still try to make an effort to go to the gym together at the same time and start work out at the same time and leave at the same time.
Yeah, as far as like actually training with each other, we just don't usually.
We'll like go up to each other and then be like, hey,
we'll check in on each other at the gym, or like maybe I'll like help her with a set or whatever, stuff like that, and we can be pretty like we can push each other pretty well, because like that's just what we care about, and we know, I don't know, it's just how
sometimes in my workouts I'll be like, hey, I really need you to come and be my freaking trainer for a set and push me really hard, and he'll come over and do that. Sometimes Brady's like in his zone and I'm like watching him from distance and I'm like, ooh, I should not interrupt him in his session. Like ultimately everything with what we do in our relationship, training together, business together, all of these questions that are being asked, is it's just really important to understand each other and to be aware of each other. And that's how we're able to prep together, how we're able to train together every single day, but train separately and do business together.
Facts. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. The next video, we will not be in Europe anymore, at least for a couple videos, and then we will be back in Europe again. But we have summer training coming up, so we're gonna have an awesome show day video in the next few weeks. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to like this video, and make sure to follow us on the Oak Fam on Instagram and the Oak Fam on YouTube. Go check out our travel stuff. It's gonna be pretty cool to just be able to like do different things, really. But with that being said, we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Peace out.